I had a teacher that said there are three kinds of people in the world: those that can count and those that can't. No, no, that was somebody else. No, they said.
What does it mean to be a church member? Does it really matter? Baptism's required. Is church membership important or not important?
Really good question, Austin.
They've all been good questions. Well, I asked that one instead of who's your favorite associate pastor. So I think I chose right. Sorry, keep going.
Okay, look.
I do have a question for each of these men. Can I ask my questions?
Did you turn it in?
I do. I did not turn it in. I was assuming that because I was sitting so close to them that I could, and because you do such a great job leading in every aspect of this conference, and because I feel so comfortable with you, could we have, and I'm sure I'm representing the majority of individuals present when I just say, could we have a finish to the story about Luther and the steps? You
really have a difficulty with living in tension. You even had to tell us that you survived the plane crash before you got to the end of the story.
Just caring for the people.
No, I never got. I couldn't get on the stairs. I never made it up the stairs
because there were so many people.
The crowd was so huge. There's this thronging multitude that my whole pilgrimage ended in failure. I wasn't able to do it.
So how long did you stay there, and what were you thinking as you stood there?
I was thinking, well, I ought to wait here until the crowd disperses so that I can go up these stairs on my knees and experience what Luther said, so I'll be able to give CJ a great ending to his story.
In fact, not the most frequently asked questions, but so many people put in the question and answer box, they wondered if we were going to do another round of limericks this year. You got us started on last year. Do you remember that?
Yes, that was a mistake, and we won't be doing that again.
The drama is here. The power is all here. It's not in fiction, it's in fact. Does that make sense to you?
It makes perfect sense to me. Yeah, I'm asking these questions for the sake of others, I promise. I'm a poor actor anyway.
Yeah.
So.
This is indicative of the kind of questions that I've sorted a lot of them out, but this one says, is it possible that you may be wrong in any of your doctrinal positions?
I can answer for Ravi. He may be wrong. You might be wrong, Al.
Well, I'm sure.
But for me, it's a manifest impossibility.
Can I ask one more question? Just one.
Of course you
Sinclair. Here's what I'll do. I'll ask one to Sinclair, then I'll just go down and sit in the front row. That would be great.
No.
Can you describe for us the difference between the joy of Luther, the joy of Calvin, and the joy of Knox? I found that very fascinating.
Yes.
Germanic joy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
French joy.
Mm-hmm.
Scottish joy. How would I discern the difference in those three forms of joy?
Okay.
Scottish joy looks
German
like
joy.
irritation.
German joy.
German joy. Because of the old alliance. French joy.
Okay.
Scottish joy.
Excellent.
And this species is as yet unidentified in the history of the Christian church.
Look, when I was in seminary, I knew of one Reformed church in Southern California. It was an OPC church with 35 hyper-Calvinists, I think, contemplating their 5-point navel. And sorry about that. Ligon has a lot of OPC students at his seminary.
There's a common thing that I see on television. There's one particular televangelist who will have a season of prayer. And he has the word of knowledge. And he'll say, right now there's somebody in the southwestern United States who's, as we're praying, is being healed of a goiter. Thank you, Lord, that goiter is vanishing right this second. There's a woman with leukemia in the Northeast, perhaps Boston, and that leukemia has just gone into remission. Thank you, Jesus. You see this? And the thing that amazes me as I see this time after time after time is that God supernaturally reveals the specific disease and the general area of the country, but never gives the name and address. You know, I've been very interested in sanctification, studied it many times. This is the first time in my life I ever heard it related to a Hopalong Cassidy. But I needed to ask, are you referring to the football player or the cowboy?
The cowboy.
The cowboy. Yeah. Hopalong. Yeah.
You didn't know there was a football player by that name, did you? No, it's a cultural thing. I was always
His mother didn't let him watch football.
I wonder
on
about
Sundays,
John preaching 5,000 sermons. He hasn't learned the trick. I have 5 sermons, so I preach each one of them 1,000 times. Not quite. You know, seriously. Too late. But there's a whole theology out there that says that such is possible. And if you close your eyes right now and just let your mind wander, see how many diseases you can think of. And how many parts of America you can think of. You have the gift now.
The biggest applause we have had in our church, we ask our people not to applaud. But recently I announced that we got a huge applause. I announced we were building a new women's restroom facility.
You couldn't hold it back there.
I mean, it was bordered on paranoia, actually.
And then who did Cain marry?
And who did what?
Who did Cain marry?
Mary Magdalene. Who else?
Jeffrey, that's not right.
They just found her bones in a coffin with Cain.
How do you respond to someone who believes you can lose your salvation?
I think maybe by showing them from the New Testament that you can't.